What are the pre-construction stages of a project? In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what the phases are to plan a project well, because I'm sure you want to know how to start your project off right, because we know projects don't go wrong, they start wrong. And you might also want to get rid of those old tired phase descriptions in pre-construction and design. If you do, you've come to the right place. We're going to cover all that in this video. Okay, so I'm going to take you through this on the flip chart over here, and we're going to have some fun. So typically there's about 5 phases in pre-construction, and a lot of times we will call that the proposal and interview phase, and then concept, schematic design, design development, construction drawings, and then project start and mobilization. Sometimes people get a little bit tired of those, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. This first one I'm going to title Win the Project. Okay, and just so you know, this is specifically talking about the planning for the project. Obviously there's in-depth training when it comes to interviews and proposals and how to write proposals and also how to manage design and the whole nine. I'm specifically headed in the direction of what are the key things we need to do to start planning the project. So in this first phase of Win the Project, you're going to do 2 main things. Number one, you're going to align with the project team. So that means you're going to get on the same page with the OPUR, one person ultimately responsible for the proposal and the interview, and find out how you can plug in from a master builder, superintendent, PM standpoint, meaning you're going to start planning the project right away. So once you align, you'll likely have your master schedule in the form of a TAC plan. You will have your zone maps. You will have your logistics drawings, and then in pre-construction, you're going to have your 3 or 4D. So whatever you want to have as a background to tell the story that you're about to tell. Now, the reason that you want to do this, because you're already starting to plan the project here, I want to make this clear. You're going to find the 3 key things that you want to talk about in the proposal and the interview that solves a problem for your client. So this is what you're going to do. And when you go in the proposal and the interview doing this, you will have already begun working for that client. You'll hopefully win the project, and you've started the planning process really strong. The second one, the phase, once you have the project, this is what I call the set the parameters. So I'm just going to do PAR because that's parameters. Set the parameters, and what I mean by that is you're going to want to establish the conditions of satisfaction, meaning understand what that client really wants. And as a part of that, you will make sure that you understand the team, how you're going to communicate, the meetings that you're going to follow, the org chart that really explains how everybody ties together, and the goals of the project. So you've really set the parameters. What would winning look like? That's really what you're going to do in that concept schematic design portion of pre-construction while you're doing design. And what I want to mention here is there's a nice pattern. When you have a leadership team that is organized this way, this is called, by the way, this is called the first planner system. And what happens is if you want to enable your last planners, so these are the people, the foremen that are going to build in the field, boots on the ground, okay? If you want to enable them, you will always organize the right team, you will always develop the right plan, and you will always allocate resources. That is the pattern. If you want to know how do you as a team really enable the last planners, it's always team plan resources, team plan resources. And so this allows you to identify how you're going to do that. In this phase, also what I want you to know, you're going to do 2 things. Number one, you're going to refine your macro level tact plan. And number 2, you are going to confirm, and this is huge, you're going to confirm your GCs and your GRs, your general requirements, so that you can have real-time accurate budgeting throughout the pre-construction effort. So once that happens, you'll see that you have the parameters. What do we want to do? How do we want to enable our folks? And what is our duration? What is our budget? And how can we stay within those targets? So that's really the focus for that phase. The other thing I want you to know is there's different phases for these YouTube channels. Usually about halfway through, I'll say something about liking, subscribing, commenting on the video. That's the phase I'm in right now, right? We provide these videos so that you can get good education. And so I'm just going to ask, can you give me that like, give me that subscribe? We are here to build a channel that can scale throughout construction. So I want to say thank you. All right, so the next phase is described as enabling the design team. So I'm just going to write enable here. The key part here that we want to do is make sure that anything the designers need to flesh out their design. Typically, this is like the design development phase of pre-construction. We want to enable the designers. And we do that with a couple of different methods, okay? One, from a contracting standpoint, we're always providing as close to real-time budget updates as we can. We provide as close to possible real-time schedule updates with our tact plan, and we provide constructability. I'll just write CONST and then REV for constructability review. There is a way to do this right, and we'll link you to a video on this, actually a video on all three of these in the description below that you can use to follow. But what we want to do is, as the design team puts forward a design aspect or scope or another iteration or a design package, we want to make sure that that's confirmed from a schedule, budget, and constructability standpoint. So we're really enabling any real-time information that the designers need to be successful. So we'll use tools like A3s, choosing by advantages, first run studies, mock-ups, risk and opportunity registers, and a host of other tools to make sure that we're enabling them at this point. So this is really a support phase of the project. The fourth phase that I really like is to plan the project with the builders. So I'm just going to write plan with the builders. Now, everybody could be a builder, meaning your design team could be a builder, your owner could even be a builder. Your stakeholders are probably builders. I'm talking, when I say builders, I mean the people that will actually build the project. They need to be integral in the process of planning this project, because you can't hold them accountable to build it if they didn't plan it. So there's a couple of key things that we'll do in this phase. We will really lock down permitting, okay? And this right here can be in the design development CD phase. We are really going to make sure that our long lead procurement is well underway. We're going to make sure that any civil considerations like preparation according to the soils report or any relocation of underground utilities is done in this phase of pre-construction. In this phase, you'll also want to make sure that you have an amazing plan. So every project should start out with the tact plan as a master schedule, your zone maps, your logistics drawings, your trailer design, so that we have the right environment to do collaboration with our last planners and our trade partners, your risk and opportunity register, and your org chart at a minimum. This is the bare minimum. And when you put this together, this is reviewed in a risk review meeting, or a fresh eyes. Then you're going to plan to start off right with your 90-day startup schedule, so you can get out of the gate like really strong. Like, this is super key. And then step number 5, this is what I call prepare, because we already did the schedule, right? We have the plan and the schedule, but this is where you're going to obviously lock in your prime agreement if you haven't already done that, okay? And you will start your quality pre-con meetings with your first trades, and you will engage your 90-day plan. So this is when you want to get out of the gate and really be successful and make a good impression, because it's easy to make up time in the beginning phases. It's not easy later on. So some people would call this, a proposal and interview, concept, schematic design, design development, CD phase, project mobilization. But if you're tired of those old labels, it's win the project, set the parameters, enable the design team, plan with the builders, and then prepare to start strong. So this process, well followed, will predict project success. Projects do not go wrong, they start wrong. And we've got to start them properly. So this is a bare minimum. I want you to know that we have a book called Elevating Construction Senior Superintendent's Book 2, or it's also called The First Planner System. It's coming out in about 3 months. So by July of 2024, you'll have that book in hand. We will link it to you when it comes out at that time. And I want you to know that at Elevate, we provide help for any of this project planning. If you need help, give us a call. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.